Welcome back to The Advocate's Voice. Today we're covering two stories that, taken together, tell us something important about the moment that we are in. A headline-grabbing Australian cancer paper and a regulatory U-turn in Bangladesh. First up, Australia. In late March 2026, researchers at the University of New South Wales published a review in the journal Carcinogenesis claiming that nicotine-based e-cigarettes are, quote, likely to cause, end quote, lung and oral cancers. The authors, cancer researchers, pharmacists, epidemiologists, and thoracic surgeons analyzed peer-reviewed studies from 2017 to 2025, comparing cancer risk between non-smokers and vape users. The lead author, adjunct professor Bernard Stewart, called this, quote, the most definitive determination, end quote, to date that vapers face elevated cancer risk compared to non-vapers. That's a strong claim, and the media ran with it hard.
Vaping does cause cancer.
Vaping is likely to cause lung and oral cancer.
Vaping in its own right can cause cancer.
It is likely that nicotine vapes do cause cancer.
But here is where it gets complicated. The clearest evidence cited in the review came from a study in mice exposed to e-cigarette aerosols who developed lung cancer.
Mice were exposed to e-cigarette aerosols for some months and developed lung cancer.
What the review does not have is epidemiological evidence, the kind of large-scale, long-term population data that actually established smoking's cancer link. The authors themselves acknowledge this. So, what are we dealing with? A legitimate scientific signal that warrants attention? Absolutely. But, quote, likely causes cancer, end quote, is a headline carrying a lot of weight that the underlying evidence hasn't fully earned yet. And in the Asia-Pacific policy space, where governments are making real regulatory decisions right now, the framing of that headline matters enormously. Which brings us to Bangladesh, a country that just enacted one of the strictest anti-nicotine ordinances in the region and is now quietly walking it back. At the end of 2024, Bangladesh's interim government passed an ordinance banning e-cigarettes, heated tobacco products, and nicotine pouches outright, expanding the legal definition of tobacco to cover all of them. It was hailed by anti-tobacco groups as landmark legislation. Then, in March 2026, Bangladesh's health ministry confirmed it is preparing amendments that would remove the vape ban entirely and also scrap restrictions on tobacco product displays at point of sale. Health Secretary Chowdhury confirmed the ministry is moving forward, following recommendations from a parliamentary committee that reviewed 133 ordinances issued by the interim government. Anti-tobacco campaigners are furious. They say e-cigarette use is already rising sharply among youth and describe the reversal as very unfortunate. But the government hasn't fully explained its reasoning publicly, which itself is a problem. When policy shifts this fast, without transparent justification, it creates a vacuum that disinformation fills very quickly. And that is the thread that connects both of these stories, disinformation, and what it's doing to public trust in health institutions.